Thanks for tuning in to another video, and for today I have the Samsung Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, and I'm going to go over some tips and tricks that are available on this. Now I recently did a tips and tricks video for the Watch 8 here, and there's going to be some overlap obviously. But in this video I'm going to show you the tips and tricks that are available on this watch, so let's get right to it. I have a lot of data on here, and sometimes it's a little tough to read, right? So if you just hit the screen like this, you could see it much easier, right? Real easy to do. Now you could rotate the crown and move it, but it does it in like a Z pattern, and it's kind of just a little tough to use it that way. But so you could just scroll it like this. Now this is actually designed for the visually impaired, but everybody can use it. Now if we just tap it 3 times again, it gets back to normal. So let me show you how to set that one up. We go into settings here, and we gotta scroll down to accessibility. It's right there. And we got to find visual enhancements right here. And I think it's at the bottom. There we go, magnification. You have to turn this on. Obviously you could turn it off here, but it also just give you some details of what it actually does. Basically what I just showed you. Okay, now let me talk about what is specific just to the Watch 8 Classic. Obviously we got the rotating bezel, which the other watches do not have. And we have the third button here, which only the Ultra has. So there are a couple of different features that are only available on this watch. And I'll show you what the quick button can do in just a little bit. It's actually kind of disappointing. I said this last year when I reviewed the Ultra. The third button on here is very limited. I don't know why they couldn't just make this open up everything, but it is only a few options that you have. But I'll show you how to use that and how to change it. Now the other thing I want to show you first is there is a low light feature on this that is only available for 2 watch faces. Again, I don't know why Samsung limits this so much. It should be available on everything. There are some other watches that have the night display on every watch, but on the Samsung it's only 2. So let me just show you those really quick. Another thing that confuses me about Samsung, they make you have 3 apps to run all the features on the watch. I don't know why they make you do that. So let me get into the Gear app right here. And we got the Watch 8 Classic up here. I like that it does mirror the watch face that you have. Okay, so let me get into the watch faces and I'll show you the 2 watches that are available for this. It's in the Classic section, and it is only Heritage Classic and Sporty Classic. Those are the only 2 watch faces that you can have this night display on. So this is the Sporty Classic right here. So let me just edit it right here on the phone because it's much easier to see. And this watch you actually can't customize too much, but on most Samsung watch faces you can customize a lot of things, all the complications and add things and take things away and change the colors, all that stuff. So Samsung does that better than most other watch companies. But for now we're just going to go into low light mode. And again, I have it auto so that this will just toggle on at night if you want, which you can't do on the watch. You actually have to toggle it on in the app to change these settings here. There is no quick toggle to turn it on and off, which would have been nice. So right now it would just be at nighttime when it detects low light, it's going to go into this pattern right here. But then I could turn it on right now, and if I save it, there we go. And that's what it looks like. And the only other watch face as of now, I mean, they might do a software update and add stuff to it, but as of now, this is the only other watch face that you can do this with, and this is called the Heritage Classic. And right now it's on auto, but if I turn it on right now and we'll save it, and this is what it will look like, which, you know, is kind of neat. The other thing that would have been nice customization on this is if you can change this to different colors, like red and orange and other stuff. The Amazfit T-Rex 3 Pro, which I just reviewed, is able to do that, and several Amazfit watches are able to do that. And again, that's for every watch face, not just 2 that they have here. So that is a little more flexible, but if you like the low light mode, that's how you get into it. The only other unique feature on the Watch 8 Classic that the other watches don't have is due to this bezel right here. So you can turn the screen on by just rotating the bezel, like that. So, you know, if you like that, that's kind of cool. Let me show you how to do that. Got to get into settings. And we just have to scroll down to display right over here. And then this is the different ways to turn on the screen. You could raise your wrist to wake the screen, touch the screen, you could toggle that on and off. And then again, the unique thing for the Watch 8 Classic is to turn the bezel to turn that on and off. So if you like to fidget with the bezel here, you might want to turn this off so your screen's not always popping on every time you go to fidget with it, because then that will kill a lot of battery. Same reason why you would turn off maybe the tap to wake and raise to wake. If the screen is turning on too much, you could turn one of those settings off if you'd like. Now, let me get to the probably my favorite feature of the Samsung watches. This is available on the Galaxy Watch 8, the Watch 8 Classic here, and the Watch Ultra. Very few other watch companies have this, and this is the gestures. So you could either do a double pinch like this to do something. You could shake your wrist to do something, and you could also do a knock knock. And that is another feature that you could have. So those are 3 gestures that you can use. So let me just show you what some of this stuff can do. Okay, and here's a notification that's going to come in. And there you go. Now if I just double pinch, I could go ahead and send them a message like this, just do the voice text, and then I could just hit send and it's off. Oh, actually, I could do it like this, and I could double pinch again, and then I could send it if I don't want to touch that screen at all. That's kind of a cool feature. Now, if I have all the text like this, and I have nothing going on, and the text is not on the screen, if I just double pinch, I can go through my text really quick, which is kind of cool as well. So if I have 3 or 4 text on there, I just double pinch like this, and I go through my text. As soon as I get a notification, I double pinch, then I could respond to it right away, just like I just showed you. And that's all hands-free, which is really awesome. So let me just show you how to toggle these things on and how to make the settings work so that you can do this. Okay, so we need to go into settings again. And then you guys scroll down here to buttons and gestures. And I'll go into this quick button in just a minute here, but I think the gestures are kind of cooler. So let me get into that. You just scroll down here, and here's the gestures. So these are the 3 that I just showed you. This is the double pinch. I'll show you these 2 in just a moment. But double pinch, obviously, you toggle it on and off. But if you just hit this, there's some things that you can do here. Now, if you don't have a now bar open, it means you don't have an app running, you don't have music running, you don't have a timer or a stopwatch or something like that running in the background. And if you do, you're going to get a little icon down here, which, again, you could expand and make it bigger or just the icon. But if you don't have anything else running and then you just have the watch face and then you double pinch, you're going to get into your next notification. Again, you can scroll through your notifications really fast, all hands-free, which is kind of cool. But if you tap on this, there's more things that we can do. So this is the secondary action. That means there's no now bar open. There's no other background app running. So you can go through your next notification like I just showed you, and that's how it's set up. Or you can go through your tiles. So instead of scrolling over like that, you can just double pinch, which is really cool. And if you don't like this feature, you can just toggle this off, but you can still keep the double pinch active for the primary action. And this is the primary action. So if you have an app running in the background, like music and media, alarm, calendar, all those things, you could do different things for them. So let's go into the music first. You could play and pause, or you can go to the next song, whichever one you want. Those are the only 2 options. You get an alarm. You can dismiss it or snooze it. Calendar, same thing, dismiss or snooze. And then reminder, complete and dismiss. Those are the 2 things that you can do. So that's kind of cool that you can have that. And then down here, it just shows you how to do the double pinch there. And it actually works very good. And every time I do it, it registers it, or 99% of the time it does. So that actually works really well. Let's get into the other options here. So we got the shake gesture right here, and that you just shake your wrist like this, and you're going to basically dismiss things like calls, alarms, timers, things like that. And there's no other settings with it. You either toggle it on or off, and I'll just hit this here. It shows you how to do it, and then it will tell you here you could dismiss calls, alerts, reminders, all that kind of stuff if you want. So let me just show you how that works really fast. So I have a timer running right now, and I'll just show you if you do the double pinch, I could stop it and then restart it real easily. But you'll see after the timer goes off, I'll show you how to dismiss it with the shake. Okay, so now it's vibrating right now, and if I just shake it, it's dismissed. So you could do that again with phone calls and alarms and all that kind of stuff. So that's really great. And let me show you the last gesture, which is the knock knock. And this one is actually probably the most flexible of them. So let me show you that. We have to go into settings again. And we just have to scroll down here, again to buttons and gestures. That's where we were. And let's get down into the gestures, and it's the knock knock. So right here, again, you can toggle it on and off, but if you click on it, there are a lot of things you can do with this. You could just start an exercise, which is great, and then you could pick which exercise you want to start. Again, which is really cool. So if you're going for a run every morning, you just do the knock knock gesture like this, and then you're off, and the exercise will start tracking you, which is kind of cool. But you could do all these things. I'll show you some features here. So the other thing is you can open up any app that you have on the watch with this. So again, you could open up a calculator quick, your calendar, if you have a music app, whatever you want to open up, you could do it with the knock knock, and super easy. And let me just show you how the knock knock works here. Right now I have the knock knock set to open up my exercises, but not a specific exercise. So if I go like this is my knock knock. Now I would go through this and pick whatever exercise I want. Again, I could have it set to open up a specific exercise that I want, or I could just open it up like this. Again, I love the gestures. That I think is a distinguishing feature of the Samsung watches. Okay, so I said I'd show you the buttons. Again, we got 3 buttons on here. So the single press on the top button just takes you back to your watch face, like that. The double press you can customize, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. And then the press and hold is very limited, but again, I'll show you the options that you have for that. So let's get into that. Then we got the quick button right here, and then we got the back button down here. So the quick button basically just does what you customize it to do. And then the back button, the single press obviously just takes you back. And then the double press has no function for some reason. You know, that definitely could be a function, but it's not. And then the press and hold, I'll show you here, it brings up Samsung Wallet. And that you can't change. That's set up by default and you can't customize that. So let's get into the settings and show you the button customizations. So we actually have to go to the same menu that we were just at, buttons and gestures. Okay, so this is the quick button right here, and these are our options. Let's hit the action. And again, we can open a specific exercise if you want, but then this is it. You know, those are only the features. Why can't I open up any app? You know, there's a lot of different things I could do. Why can't I even use this to open up the Google Assistant? And there's a lot of things that I think Samsung misses on this. And I thought they were going to update this on the original Ultra. I thought they were eventually going to do a software update and add more features, but they just did not. I don't know why. So that's all you can do with the quick button, but you can change your action if you want. So if you are, I think it's pretty hard to hit this by accident just because of it's kind of recessed. But if you are hitting it by accident, let's fix that. We could do the short press or you could do a double press to toggle that on. And then the other thing is there is no press and hold feature on this, but Samsung is just limiting the functions on that. I'm not really sure why. Okay, so let's go to the home button, which is up here. We got the double press. And this is actually pretty good. We could do a lot of different things with this. You know, you can go through all your apps and open that up. That's probably the only one that you could really customize to any significant extent. Now we got the long press on the top here. And again, this is just a few options. We got your digital assistant, Bixby, or the power off menu. So again, not so much that you can do there. So let me go back here. Now we got the back button down here. Again, this is also very limited. But if you hit this, this is the quick press. We can go to the previous screen or you could show your recent apps. Again, that's it. There's nothing else you could do with this. You know, again, it seems like just a shame that you can't do more things. Thanks for watching up to this point. Really appreciate that. Hopefully some of these tips and features were helpful for you, and hopefully you'll use some of them. Leave it in the comments if you have any questions about anything. Otherwise, I make a lot of videos about this kind of stuff, so check the description here or check out my channel for other smartwatches and other tips and tricks for this watch and other watches. Please consider subscribing and liking, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.